All right, to watch this video for the last day of the quarter, Friday, March 31st. Well, the SPY grinding higher, still very impressive move after that gap down 4 sessions ago. Always want to check the SPY to make sure there's no shock events, and the market's proven itself to be very strong, so we can just go ahead and proceed with our normal watch list. There's a weird looking chart here. AKTX had a big volume spike today, though, relatively speaking, still only 595,000 shares. The reason it's on my list, normally this wouldn't make my list, is it's trading at 7:55 in after hours. So a nice pop up. I think this might be a potential gap play tomorrow. We're going to keep our eyes on it. Had news after hours. CNAT had a huge move back here and then a nice move that put in a lower high today. This may be, if we get some kind of like flat line for a while tomorrow and then a push through 6, you've got another catalyst just above. And here's the weekly, so it's it's got some room above. As I said in last night's video, I don't really love calling stuff that's made a big one-day move because you generally don't see 2 candles like this in a row. But it'll go on watch for the next several days, and you never know. Maybe we get a setup tomorrow. PRAN. I'll tell you what. More than one of us in the chat room put this on watch in pre-market. That's the nature of the teamwork in our chat room, and more than one of us posted the idea in chat too. After trading the opening 5 minutes, it had pushed down to like, I don't know, 275. And when it started to come back up, I called it long on a red to green or through 3 over the mic. Wayne was also all over that. And look at that move. That's a beautiful gap play. I literally got long at 3. Exactly. I just did a market order and got filled at 3. And went all the way to whatever it was, 458. Huge move. Goes back on watch tomorrow. Even though it gave back a lot of its gains. It's a lower float stock, 11.9 million shares traded. You might get another trade in tomorrow, but today was fantastic. That was a day maker. HTGM was another one, and it goes back on watch, and I'll show you why. 15-minute candles here. You had a nice spike here and a nice kind of closing spike, and it certainly looks good over 8, but this is that one that made that crazy move, right, from $2 to over 13, then came in for a few days, had it on bounce watch. Show you how I called it this morning. And another beautiful thing about the chat room, or another beautiful example of teamwork, this was on our gap play watch list, and it sold off for 10 minutes, put in this green candle. And at this point, we already had 1 or 2 people typing, hey, watch HTGM for the turn here, right? I didn't call it yet. And then as it came up here, we had probably 2 more people, maybe 3 or 4 people. So you probably had 5 or 6 posts alerting the whole group about HTGM, right? And when it got to this point, I jumped on the mic and said, you know what, HTGM could be a buy right here with a stop below this candle in anticipation of the 7 break. The high number, the high of day break, and then, through the whole number 7 possible inflection point, and also shorts that have beaten this down. Let me pan out a little bit here. Shorts that have beaten it down since the big move, right? This day, sold off, this day, so shorts feeling pretty good about themselves. Then you get a gap up, and it starts to sell again. Shorts start to get more confident. So this was a potential short squeeze for me. So when it got like this, I called it potential long, somewhere around 690, 695. Looking for, in anticipation of, a high of day break, inflection point, whole number break, and then a possible squeeze. That's what happened right there. It took about 10 minutes, because these are 5-minute candles, to get from the 695 area to 795. That's just a great example of teamwork, great example of having the right stocks on watch, and a proper entry. Again, a proper entries, you're green right away. It takes a lot of the other problems that day traders have out of the equation when you time your entries right. When you got to be disciplined enough, for 1, to know what to look for, and 2, to sit in cash until you have a setup like that. I hate being red, so I try to enter so I can be green right away. I always tell people I trade for one reason only, and that's to make money. If I take a trade and within a minute or 2 I'm red, which I've done a million times in my career as I was learning this method, if you're red in a stock, are you making money or are you losing money? I say it all the time. If I'm red in a stock, I'm not making money, so I don't hang out in it. Okay, so for me, you got to learn to time your entries right. Anyway, enough babbling about that. HTGM, because of this spike here, and it held up fairly well, you can kind of picture a little trend line here, or certainly if it could get back up over 764, the afternoon high, could easily pop up through 8 and squeeze tomorrow. So I definitely like this one. Goes on watch again tomorrow. EBIO. I don't love this, but you had a pop here, and in a couple days lower. Certainly over 250 is a big breakout for this thing. So it goes on watch, but I'm not in love with that one. GBR, another red day. No trades in it today, but you had this huge 2-day move. Now you're 3 days lower on seriously declining volume, right? So this is this one, and back down to the 8-day. It really might turn up one of these days. You certainly want to see volume come into that before I believe in anything. CBIO gapped up to 8 and went all the way to almost 19. Then you had 2 days lower now on declining volume. Certainly want to put it on balance watch. No trades in it today. I tell you what, in after hours, it actually, I'm looking at the chart, looks like it actually went to 1050. I don't know if there was news or what. And I think it ended up after our session at 995. So certainly worth watching tomorrow. Low float stock might see some big time action. We'll see. VRAY had a really nice move here, just straight up for a little over a week. Now a few days lower. It's finding buyers. See these two tails here? Narrow range today, inside candle. The potential bounce on that one tomorrow. That's VRAY. CGIX, similar chart. Really nice move. 3 days lower on declining volume. Back into the 8-day. Goes on bounce watch for tomorrow. DEPO. The only reason this is on watch is because if you pan out, you have what we call shape change. If these were 5-minute candles here, and then it started to get that shape change, like loosely connect the tops of the candles, see how the pitch changes? See how it's starting to get fast to the downside instead of the slow grind? See that red line there? It's starting to get really fast to the downside, and lo and behold, you have a low in this area from last March. So whenever you get something that moves quickly, you get shape change into a significant spot on the chart, a lot of times you can get a nice snapback bounce. So DEPO goes on bounce watch for tomorrow. A few more here, guys. NYMX had the big pop. Quiet inside day, goes back on watch for tomorrow. PULM. Again, on 15-minute candles, you had this big pop, nice secondary pop, grinding lower, and now you're kind of putting in higher lows, and it's really kind of coiling. So this one has a potential move in it tomorrow. We'll see. And then lastly, I hesitated to put this one on watch, this APOP. Had the huge move, a couple days lower, but a couple green days in a row. If you switch to 15-minute candles, it popped up here and really went sideways and had a strong close at the end of the day. So this one might, and a little bit of extra volume, this one might catch some bids tomorrow. We'll see. All right, guys, we're also going to add some gappers in the morning. Hopefully catch a few good trades at the end of the quarter. And then I'll have to email my accountant and figure out how much I need to send in as my quarterly estimates. I try to do that every quarter. I don't try. I'm sorry. I do that every quarter. So let's hope to end the quarter well, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.